CPAC México with the president of Mis amigos migrantes, pues aquí estoy. Total catastrophe, and it is a crisis. Of a child, right there. All these NGOs, you're fake. It is this, the crisis of children. Good evening to all. How's everybody doing? I'm Oscar Blue for Real America's Boys News. How's everybody doing? Thank you so much for joining in. It is my pleasure to be with you guys on this Wednesday, 22nd of November. It is 1908 Pacific time. That it's 7:08 in the evening over here in Tijuana, Mexico. That we are the border next to the beautiful San Diego, California. Nice to talk to you guys, and it is a pleasure to be with you guys tonight, and specifically talking about why so many protests, why this is continuing. There was a supposed terrorist attack that it was in the borders and the northern borders of the United States. Now they're saying that it was not a terrorist attack. I am waiting for the actual preliminary information and factual information to come out and say if it is a confirmation that it was a terrorist attack or it wasn't a terrorist attack. We're still waiting on that. It's information is all over the place, so it's really difficult to just come out and say, hey, it was a terrorist attack. This is what is going on. I have to confirm every single situation. That's the way I am. That's the way I inform. And why so many multiple protests that are happening right now in Central and South America. As you guys know, I did a live feed in the morning talking about the recent win of the president of our elected president of Argentina, Milei. This is a guy that he's a libertarian. He's not a conservative. He is not he's not a leftist. He's not a communist. So this is a guy that practically it doesn't fit the narrative of the conservatives, and it doesn't fit the narrative of the liberals. Practically, this tells you that the liberal, progressive, Marxist agenda, they do not want nobody that is not what they say. So my question now is, who are the imperialists? Who are the real imperialists? Now, what you are telling us is that, the leftists, the Marxists, and the progressive Marxists, the mercenary, activists, the mercenary politicians, these mercenary leftist politicians, that they have these progressive ideologies. They didn't like conservatives. They don't like Christians. They say the Christian imperialism. They talk about the white supremacy. They talk about the white imperialism, to talk about the American imperialism. But you see a president like Milei that just won the election in Argentina, and basically Milei, since the start, since before he was running for president, when he was doing programs, when he was doing national programs, when he was doing basically when he was doing television, when he was talking about economy, when he was saying all of this, he always said that he was a libertarian. Always said that he was a libertarian. He never said that he was a conservative. He never said that he was a leftist communist. He always identified himself as a libertarian. I am so happy that a libertarian, it is a president now. I don't consider myself, as I have said multiple times before, I don't consider myself a Republican. I don't consider myself, hell no, I don't consider myself a Democrat. And I'm not a conservative. And, I don't consider myself a full conservative, which I have conservative values. That is with my upbringing in our culture in Latin America. What I can tell you is that possibly I fit on the narrative of libertarian or some kind of that. That is why this guy Javier Milei, that is the elected president, they categorize him as crazy. And I will ask you one question: what is crazy nowadays? What is crazy nowadays? You have an you have an elected dictator in Venezuela who is practically destroying that country, destroying the economy, destroying everything that is worth, destroying, the most prosperous country that it was in Latin America. You have millions of people that they're fleeing their country. You have enormous poverty, and he is a dictator. He wants communism. And the academia in the United States, they will tell you, these young kids from Stanford, from Yale, from Brown, from old Harvard, that is not communism. They don't even live in communist countries, but they will tell you what communism is from their notebooks. But this is a dictator. That is crazy. Crazy is what is happening in Venezuela. Crazy is what is happening in Cuba with Diaz-Canel. That is a crazy son of a gun. Crazy is what is happening in Nicaragua. Crazy is what is happening with Putin in Russia. Crazy is what is happening in Ukraine. Crazy is what is happening with the United States with Biden. Call me nuts, but that is crazy. And you got a guy that wants liberty and freedom, and that consistently, this Milei, elected president from Argentina, he is always yelling libertad carajo. It's like saying liberty, damn it. We want liberty, damn it. What is wrong with screaming we want liberty and freedom? What is wrong? And the problem right here is that the leftists and the progressive Marxists, they know that if these kind of presidents, if they come in, they will cut their funding, they will cut their programs, and they will give the power to the necessity and the people and the middle class families, the middle lower class families. They know that they will cut their programs, they will cut their funding, and all of this craziness that they're going through, it is going to end. All this beautiful things that they used to have, all the leftists, it will be cut out of the picture. You want to hear an example of what happened like that? Let me give you an example. Nayib Bukele, the president of El Salvador, a president that his political party of his father was a communist political party, and that he ran as another political party. He created another political party so he can compete against the leftists because he had a different perception. He looked at the world differently. He said, why are we suffering? Well, we have the most fertile land in the whole continent that we can farm our own products, our own coffee. Why are we suffering when we can have the most important coffee in the whole world? And we are paying to get coffee when we have it in our own land? What the hell are we doing? What do we need to do? And he started cleaning up and giving ideas. I'm going to take out the most dangerous and most relentless gang out of our country. What do? He eliminated the MS gang. And after he started doing that, after he started eliminating the MS gang, who started attacking Nayib Bukele? The Marxists, the leftists, the ones that they're attacking right now, Milei, the ones that they're calling Milei that he's a crazy extremist. If you walked in the country of El Salvador, I want every leftist Marxist to walk through the country of El Salvador and ask your typical average citizen, typical average coffee shop, taxi driver, bus driver, mom and pop business owner, ask them if they love their president and if they think that Nayib Bukele is an imperialist dictator. And they will tell you What the hell are you talking about? Hell no, he's not. Look at our country. We have freedom to go out now at night because there's no gang violence. There's no gang activity consistently taking away our libertad, our liberty, our freedom. He's the first one that started this movement of saying, I will fight the opposition. I will fight the Marxists. I will fight every comment from every dictator, as it is Nayib Bukele, as it is Nicolas Maduro, as it is the president of Colombia, that is Petro, as it is the Ortega, the president of Nicaragua, as it is Biden, and all the congressional leftist Marxists in the United States that they call Nayib Bukele an imperialist dictator. And he started fighting it off alone. A small country. Alone, he started doing it. Alone, one man standing with a one small army, putting an example to the world on how to clean up a country and how eliminate violence and a dangerous gang that polluted the whole continent. He did it with a team, but his ideas were the ones that were a pedestal for now Milei to be a president of Argentina. Milei, they caught him crazy. And sometimes, I will tell you, he acts crazy. He has a chainsaw and he's on top of a bus and he's like, we're going to cut like this every Marxist and we're going to eliminate. And I love that, man. Why? Because he's normal. He's a normal human being. And the problem right here that I see is that politicians, people that they go to college and they study to be a politician, they are afraid right now for their lives. And I will tell you why. I will tell you why. Because libertarians, independents, businessmen, real men, they are taking away their jobs, their position. Somebody saying, Viva Zapata. Sí, como no. Aquí está el jefe atrás. Viva Zapata. Tierra Libertad. They're taking away their jobs. That is what is happening. These Joe Rogans, they're taking away the views of the CNNs, of the MSNBCs, of the ABCs, of all the Daily Beast, the Democracy Nows, the Foxes, these Joe Rogans, these Tim Pools, all these Tucker Carlsons. They are the new wave of journalism, real, raw journalism. They're opening up the doors for people like us, that we go boots on the ground, we walk, we show, we risk our lives. Independent people that they really want to show to the people the reality, and we don't want to fake it. We don't want to show fake news. We don't want to go over there and put out a show like Geraldo used to do, or like Geraldo usually does. What Milei has done, I will tell you. The country of Argentina, let me describe it for you as a Latino. Argentina has beautiful people. Beautiful. I admire all of our countries in Latin America. Specifically, I have a huge love for people of Panama and people of Venezuela. I have a lot of love for those two countries. Argentina, it is special. And I will tell you why it is special. Because it's the pedestal on the bottom that it will lead to the top. And on his right, they have Lula, a leftist that has a leftist mercenary ideologies. And Milei is going to fight that off. He's going to fight on top, on the side with Chile. He's going to fight Peru. He has a lot of fighting to do. He's cornered with all leftist mercenary people, but he doesn't give a damn. He is going to go for his people. Argentina just recently won the World Cup of soccer, the most important sports event, worldwide event in history. And when you saw the celebrations of the World Cup, as I was saying in the morning, you can actually see the unity of people with soccer. It is a different culture. In Latin America, we breed soccer. We eat for morning soccer, lunch, and dinner. It's every day, 7 days a week. But specifically in Brazil and in Argentina, soccer, it is like the most important thing in the world. A baby, when it comes out of the womb, basically is coming out with a soccer ball. It is extremely important. Soccer is their life. And when they won the World Cup just recently, the whole country was so united with a World Cup of soccer. Now imagine, it was so sad to see the priorities of Argentinians when they were asking them, what would you prefer? Would you prefer to win the World Cup, or would you prefer to have a great economy and a great country? And the majority of Argentinians, they were answering, we prefer to win the World Cup. Why? I will tell you why that was the answer. And the answer, it is simple. When you create a new generation, that you blind that generation, you do not educate that generation, you do not lead them into think the priorities of a country, you will have those type of answers. Exactly like Venezuela. Venezuela, if you ask a gentleman, how are you available or how are you going to work? They will tell you, this is the way, this is the way, and this is the way. Some of them. But the new generation, they will tell you, we need funding, we need programs, we need this. They accustomed to the communist life. In Argentina, they were answering that they prefer more to win a World Cup than to have a better economy. That was just the future. That made you understand where that country was going to. Would you see a lot of Argentinians leaving their country? Can you see a lot of Argentinos forming caravans? We have a huge community of people from Argentina in our country of Mexico. Humongous. It's a big community. A lot of them, they own restaurants, and a lot of them, they work in restaurants. And they work on these really nice, because they're meat people, they're steak people. So they work on these beautiful steak restaurants, and they work on wineries and all this kind of stuff. But you don't see them fleeing on caravans as like people from Chile. You don't see them fleeing from caravans. Why? There's a thing that is called pride. And a lot of them, as I can understand, the people from Argentina, they will prefer to die to the hardest consequence, but they will die in their land. They will prefer to just suffer the consequence of bad decisions, but they will suffer it in their land. And now the sun has just hit them in the face. There's a change coming. And the change that is coming, it is going to completely, radically turn around 360 degrees that country. And it is so beautiful that it's going to happen. Because a libertarian, it is going to do that. And it puts an example to the world that that there's no manifesto to be a leader and to be a president. Because before there was a manifesto where you were a conservative or you were a leftist, where you are Christian or you are non-Christian. Now there's a manifesto that a person that loves this country, wants to fight for freedom, wants to fight for liberty, and wants to give the best for this country, he can be a president. And the new politicians, the new wave of politicians that they're studying politics, watch out. Watch out. Because Milei is an economist. He's a businessman. He's not a politician. He has never been a politician. He understands the economy and he understands the system. It is so simple. It is just like opening up a manual at Walmart to fix a just a newly bought furniture thing. It's just so easy to read it. It's so easy to get it. It's so easy, and it's so easy to see it and easy to read it. Milei, it is going to change that country. I was talking in the morning about this experience that I had in the airport of Madrid before I start going to why so many protests. And I had this encounter with two ladies from Argentina. I was in the airport of Madrid and I had I think it was a 10-hour wait or 11-hour wait. So I was like, should I go to a hotel or should I just stay here and just sleep on the floor? So like I always do, I just stay in the airport and I just watch people sit down, have a cup of coffee at a restaurant, drink a nice, natural mineral water, read, whatever it is. So my phone was running out of battery. I was looking for a connector. You guys know the European connectors are different. So I was looking for one and I didn't want to sit down in the restaurant and every connector was full. So I had to look at the floor. So I walked 70 million kilometers inside of the huge airport of Madrid. And I saw an empty connector right there on the floor, laid my bag on the floor, laid my two bags on the floor, sat down, got a little pillow, put it on my back, sit down and connected my phone to charge. There was another extra connector. Two ladies came and they said, "Do you know how to speak Spanish?" And I said, "Yes." I said, "Oh, mucho gusto. Nice to meet you. Where are you from?" I said, "From Mexico." "And you?" "Argentina." "Oh, nice to meet you. Can we connect our phone on the other connector right here?" Absolutely. Go ahead. We started talking, and then I asked, like, what do you think about Fernandez? And Fernandez was the current president of Argentina. He's like, he's ruining our country. He completely has ruined our country. He's completely destroying our country. He has destroyed our country. And then I asked him, what do you think about Milei? And he's and these one of the ladies, it was the daughter, and the other one, it was the mother. The daughter was in her late 30s, and the mother was in her early 60s. And the daughter, immediately when I asked about Milei, and she's Argentinian, she said, the guy is absolutely nuts. He's so nuts that he makes us afraid. But I will tell you something. There's nothing wrong with being crazy and trying to fix your country. So that's the only option that we got. And if crazy, it is the only way to fix our country, we're voting for crazy. And I was so hit in the face with that, because that is the open mentality that we need. Not because he's not your average politician, not because he doesn't open his mouth correctly, that sometimes other politicians speak their mouth and they speak stupidity. They don't measure their words, but we know their intentions, but they don't measure their words. Not because that they're not your average typical, hi, this is a press conference. I am President this, and we are my dear fellow and human beings. Not because he talks like that, it doesn't mean that he cannot fix a country. And then I asked the mother, and the mother said, he scares me, but I believe him, because every other political candidate, all of them, they're not attacking each other. They're only attacking him. Guess where in other country, and I will ask this in the live chat. Look what she said. In the political candidates and the debates, she said, they were only attacking all of them. They were attacking him. They were not attacking each other. They were all attacking him. In what other country that is happening right now? Question mark. You guys can answer right now if you want. I will leave the chat and let me just check something right here in my phone. In what other country that is happening right now? Can actually say it if you want. You guys know where it's happening. You guys know that there is a Republican candidate that is being, and I'm not, don't mistake me, because everybody, oh my God, he's a Trumper. Oh my God, he's a Trumper. He's a right winger. He's a Trump lover. He's a Trumper. Orange man, orange man. Shut up. And don't start with all your pamphlet and your language of barrier of defense that is, he's a white supremacist, a white imperialist, conspiracy theorist, fear monger, creating hysteria, transphobic, homophobic, pronophobic, fatphobic, xenophobic, fascist, racist, narcissist, and a Zionist. Stop with your stupidity of language of barrier of defense. Let me just give it to you. In the United States of America, you have all the candidates, and all of them in the Republican spectrum, all of them, they have their one purpose, and it is to fight who? And on the opposition, also, they have a candidate that their number one enemy is not between them. It is one man only. It's just one man. It's happening also in the United States. It happened in Argentina. When she told me this, I was like, wow. Isn't it weird that all of these self-college made politicians, all of them, it doesn't even matter if you're a right or if you're a left, but between that right and between that left, you know, a person crazy comes in the middle and disturbs the ideas of the left, and it doesn't agree with the ideas of the right. What do you think it is going to cause? A lot of animosity. And it's going to piss off the people on the left, completely is going to piss off the people on the right, and he's going to be standing alone. And guess what they're going to do? Bully up. We need to do that. We need to get him the hell out. That's what they did with Milei. They try to do that. All of them, opposition, non-opposition. And that is what has been happening. That is what I wanted to come to this last point before we move to the multiple protests. There's a problem in the United States. And the problem is the uniparty. These neocons, these uniparties. That is the problem. That is the problem. That these people behind closed doors, they're, hey, high-fiving each other. They're like, yeah, we just destroyed this, and we're like, but tomorrow I'm standing against you and I'm fighting you off in front of everybody, okay? Yes, I will respond to that. Yes, yeah, yay. And the people that they're watching in the TV and they're watching on your social media and they're watching on your telephone, they're like, man, the Democrat gave it to the Republican, yay. And then the next day, the Republican is saying, yeah, we gave it to the Democrats. But behind closed doors, they're just high-fiving, passing laws, passing bills, playing the cat and the mouse game, the hot potato game. Now you grab it. But then in the middle, somebody comes and he sees the whole charade and the whole facade that they're playing around. How they're misfunding, how they are planning, how they are stealing, how they are robbing, how they are not doing squat. He's like, what the hell are we doing? The hell is this? I don't agree with it. And as soon as that happens, I don't agree with it. Guess who? Both of them, they're not going to stay quiet. Of course, the Uniparty is going to be like, attack, get him out, eliminate him, attack his credibility before he starts growing the path, before he starts growing more. What happened to Milei? Exactly what happened to Milei. What happened to Bukele? The political party that Nayib Bukele, used to be a part of, they went full on to destroy his campaign. Plus, the opposition was full on corrupt. Just yesterday, he was speaking Najib Bukele, I heard a speech that he gave. And he said this, look of the ideas of how much the corruption and how idiotic these imperialists, they think, these self-made politicians. He said there was a political candidate from a really imperialist country. Imperialist country, he's talking about that, you know, it is a first-class world country. He didn't say the name. And I am thinking, you know, it haven't come to my mind who he was talking about. But he said, Najib, you're going to have a big problem. And Najib said, why? You're going to eliminate an economy. Look how the violence and the corruption and the cartel and the bad and the evil has so much power that money, it is more important than security and providing a better life for your citizens. Look what he said. And Najib Bukele said this, and he said, why I'm going to have a bad problem? Because you know that the MS gang, they bring economy. And he said, why are you talking about? All those businesses? You're going to lock up more than 80,000 gang members? Those are 80,000 people that they buy food, that they bring economy, that the businesses that are getting extortion, yes, they're going to get extortion. We can normalize that. But ultimately, that money goes to the government. It goes to the taxpayer. And he was just, Najib said, I was just amazed. Inside, I was just like, wow. He also started adding that, you know, you're going to lock up all those 80,000. What is going to happen to the children? What are they going to live out? Those 80,000 gang members that they are providing economy, they're also providing food. They're buying stuff. You're going to have a hard time. How amazing that is. That is exactly what is happening to our country of Mexico. And that is exactly what is happening to the United States of America. It takes a president with balls to eliminate the problem and create a solution with economy, with jobs, and also with peace, and to make people with profit, to make people with good intentions, to teach them how to work. Mexico is polluted with cartel activity. Why? Because for Mexico now it is an economy for the corruption, for the corrupt politicians. Now the cartel, it is part of a market. If you eliminate that market, the one that has the demand, that is the United States of America, it is a business. It is going to suffer. So now they depend on that. So when a president comes and wants to eradicate the trafficking of children, the trafficking of fentanyl, the trafficking of drugs, it's not only going against the cartel, the bad people. It's also going against, when you're hearing this kind of politicians, it also is going against the politicians, the investors, the owners of companies, the government, organizations, and institutions. It is a fight. It is an enormous fight. This is the reason why, people. Milei, the president of Argentina, it is so important that he won. Because there's another leader that is going to put an example on how to eradicate a problem and how to fix it. Like Bukele, he did. And he completely showed that politician, that corrupt politician that he's talking about, he showed him, I eliminated that MS gang problem in my country, and I locked up more than 80,000 gang members in my country. Just recently had the Miss Universe pageant. In your dreams, nobody would ever thought to have the Miss Universe pageant in the most dangerous country in the world, that it was El Salvador. And it was praised and it was celebrated the other day. And it was a beautiful celebration. When I was there, when I was in In El Salvador, they had the world event of surfing. They have so much richness in that country. And it was brought by this president. And now, this is another president that is coming about. And the president that is coming about is going to try to fix the country of Argentina, to fight off the corruption and to fight off what the past president has done so horribly to that country. I'm going to read your comments. There's a comment right here. Carol Ricard says, that is a hard balancing act, Oscar. Didn't Trump eradicate that problem? What problem? IMO. I don't remember what IMO means. What problem? With all respect, Miss Carol Ricard, what problem are you talking about that Trump eradicate? I will wait for your answer. I don't know what kind of problem that he eradicated. As soon as you tell me what kind of problem he eradicated, I will tell you. In my own opinion. Okay, in my own opinion. I'm sorry. I am so sorry for the abbreviations. That is called. That is what it's called. Abreviaciones. In my own opinion. In my opinion. Okay. I don't know what kind of problem he eradicated. If you can be specific, I can give you an answer. And I can actually give you a legitimate answer. A lot of protests before we go to the the lady wants to give me an answer. But before we go, a lot of protests are happening. There's a protest that is nonstop in Panama. I've been to that country multiple times now. I love that country. Beautiful people, beautiful institutions, beautiful governmental institutions. They're beautiful. All of them, they treat me with hard respect, and we have won our respect. This man behind me, this gigantic man that you see behind me, my brother, I love him to that. My brother, Ben Berquam, and myself, we have worked so hard to win the respect of the authorities of Panama. And there has been a problem that is a political, interior problem of minery, that there was a external company that it was extracting resources and practically taking advantage of the good people of Panama. That's another subject. What is happening now, it is that there's multiple protests, and it is happening all over the place. And these protests, that is a copy paste of what happened in the United States of America. And I said that on a live feed in Spanish. I had to say it in Spanish because the United States of America has set the manifesto on what the new agenda of these mercenary activists and these, groups, radical groups, what they will do to destabilize the peace and to gain power in political statures. That is what they do. In Panama, they started protesting by the hundreds of thousands in the streets. Hundreds of thousands against the extraction of the minery. Everything was going well. Until a political movement from the left, a Marxist political movement from the left, started infiltrating in these peaceful protests. And they started radicalizing every protest. Now, because they're radicalizing every protest, they're infiltrating, and they are looting and rioting and destroying businesses, even blocking streets from goods for truck drivers to get to point A to point B. I will ask a question to the audience. Where have you seen that happen also? Question mark. Where have you guys seen that happened also? And it is not a hard question. Really, it's not. It is not a difficult question because I can give you an answer immediately. But where have you guys seen? What country have you guys seen that happen also? What country have you guys seen that has been happening? Yes. Somebody said all Europe. Yes. But which country have you guys seen it recently? Everybody's saying the US. And it is a clear example of how to destabilize the peace. And it is the strategy that it was put by the Marxist Karl Marx. In his manifesto, he said that the only way to obtain the power is to disturb and to divide. You divide, you conquer. The United States of America has been an example of these radical collective groups, mercenary activists, that they will go and they will destroy, destabilize the peace, and take control of cities and take control of political stands. And even they will influence political parties to in favor laws that they can be passed in Congress. This has happened in the United States, also in Canada, in Europe, also in France. Also, you can see that. But ultimately, I'm talking about the United States of America, and that is a copy paste of what is happening in Germany also. That's a copy paste of what is happening right now in Panama. Why am I saying this? Black Lives Matter, what they did after the George Floyd incident, protests started, walking. People started walking outside in the streets, multiple hundreds of thousands of people. Then Minnesota was completely destroyed. Not only that, several cities were completely destroyed, looted, and rioted. And after that, what happened? Defund the police. It started coming. New laws, new cities, they have the new limitations, and the new municipal cities, they have their new limitations and different laws that they were passed because of the situation of George Floyd. What happened in Portland with Chaz? Remember that city, Chaz, that Antifa took over? What happened to that? Just one single protest escalated for the people of Antifa to take over some blocks and some streets because they wanted anarchy. They don't want law. They are F the government. We don't care about law. It is our law. And all these people, what they want, it is basically to give the power to the civil police, to the radical and the anarchists, to have the power to decide what is right and what is wrong. So F the Constitution, F law and order. Their ultimate goal is to divide, disturbing the peace, destabilizing the country, and then from there, bring the new agenda. And it has done perfectly in the United States of America. Look what is happening to it right now. Everything, it can lead to a protest. Now you have pro-Hamas, that Hamas is a terrorist organization, whether you like it or not. Hamas is a terrorist organization, and you have pro-Hamas activists that they try to enter the Capitol. Not to get into that specific topic, but it has happened, and it is a way to destabilize the peace and to bring their political agenda into the White House, into the Capitol. What is happening right now to Panama, it is exactly it is just starting, the tip of the iceberg. It is just starting right now in Panama. And you're seeing these radical groups infiltrating in peaceful protest, managing the peace, disturbing the peace, and ultimately agitating the people. I can tell you from experience, mercenary activists from the left coming from California to migrant camps over here in Tijuana. And they're the ones, American white liberals, controlling a piece of land in a foreign land of Mexico. They were the ones that they were letting which press they can come in, which press they could not, who can walk, who could not, who was the organization of lawyers that they can operate in that migrant camp and who cannot, which foundation can come in and which foundation cannot, which broadcast company can come in and give the news, because they were not even letting Tijuana citizens to go into the migrant camps to broadcast and to say what it was happening, because they only wanted their Democracy Nows, their Daily Beastas, their CNNs, their MSNBCs. They only wanted those. Yes, the people that we pander, the people that we, yeah. Don't talk bad about what is going on over here. There's nothing wrong going on over here. Everything is so great. This is the way that it's happened. Why multiple protests are happening? It is a strategy. And for God's sake, it is a great strategy to disturb the peace and to destabilize the country. It is a great strategy to do it. If we want to go, who's funding it? Come on, we already know. It has already been declared and everybody knows who's funding. And even they are not even cynically hiding it anymore. They can tell you in your face who's funding the whole damn thing. It's not a lie. It is a reality. We already know who's funding these kind of situations. And they're still continuing and they're still allowing it. Meanwhile, the United Nations has power over the borders of every country. You will have these kind of irregularities happening continuously. The Global Compact on Migration has great power. And the power that it has, it is just this: open borders. Even the leftists have said no borders, no walls, no USA at all. But hold on. Just when Biden is president, they don't chant that, because they're actually building a wall right now between Imperial Beach, California, and Playas de Tijuana. That is the Biden border wall, more than 30 feet tall, or almost 30 feet. They have destroyed an international park that is called Friendship Park, a park that it was uniting families from San Diego and Tijuana, that it has been in the history a unification of Latinos from the United States and Mexico. And he completely destroyed a guy that it was preaching to the choir and telling everybody that he didn't want to build a wall, that he wanted to stop the construction of the wall. A guy that told everybody that he was going to document 11 million undocumented individuals. A guy that told that everybody that he was going to create a better pathway for migrants. And it is the highest level of migrants of deaths in the history of the United States of America. He manipulated the Latino population for his advantage and for his gain, political gain. But you don't see this mercenary activist like it was before. No, oh, hell no. Why? Because the funding continues. Meanwhile, the funding, it is continuing, and meanwhile, they're being allowed to do whatever the hell they want. They're not going to complain. But if the funding stops, that is when we have a problem. That is when the multiple protests starts happening. That is when these white American liberals, they bring their political trash to the United States, to a foreign country, and use us, the brown people, the Mexicans, for their political trash. And if we do not agree with their political trash, we're white supremacists, we're white imperialists, we are xenophobic, transphobic, we are conspiracy theories, we are creating hysteria, we're Trump lovers, we're this, we're that. Oh, yes, let's use that. They need to support us. We need to be part of the team. Yay, all together. This is the reason why they are going to attack now the president of Argentina, Milei. Because he's going to stop the funding of these leftist Marxist organizations. And they're going to go at him like you don't even imagine. Like they went at Nayib Bukele. Who was the first organization that went at Nayib Bukele hard? And they started protesting outside of the prisons to release gang members, that they were unlocked, that they were locked up unlawfully because they were not violating no law. They were just extortioning people. But who was the first organization, international organization that started protesting against Nayib Bukele? You want to know? The United Nations. The first one protesting that he was violating human rights. But in Honduras, the United Nations was saying, oh, where the Honduras government is not doing anything against the gangs of the MS gangs. They're not fighting the MS gangs. The United Nations in Guatemala, they say, oh, the Guatemala government is not doing anything with the MS gangs. They're not fighting them off. In Nicaragua, they're saying, oh, the United Nations is saying in Nicaragua, they're not doing anything against the gangs. But you have a president now in El Salvador that is eradicating that gang. And immediately he gets attacked. Why? Because there's no crisis, because there's no chaos, because there's peace. And when there's peace and you don't have a crisis and you don't have chaos, you do not have funding for your external NGOs, your organizations. You don't have control of a political movement and you don't have control of the people. So he eliminates the funding. Of course, he gives funding to NGOs that they're legitimately helping. People need to get paid. They're doing a job. Absolutely. But it's something different with an NGO that is doing a job, helping and getting paid, between another NGO that is doing a job, getting paid, taking advantage, and being part of an illicit activity as trafficking. That is why he got attacked. That is why Milei is going to get attacked. And that is why every president now that is in the middle, it is not even considered a conservative or not even considered a leftist. Milei is a libertarian. Now libertarians are getting attacked because the left doesn't agree with it. Why? Because libertarians, Milei, that he's a libertarian again, he knows about these programs, that they are useful programs, that they can be handled differently. Instead of spending millions and millions, they can spend millions on education, on teachers, on programs, on economy, on jobs to create a better country. But no, they're spending funding on these kind of situations. And then you have the opposition that they know that they're going to get their funding cut and they need the chaos. So the only way is to do is to attack. The United States has set up a manifesto of how radical mercenary movements can destabilize the peace and that they can have political control and to manipulate who can be president and who cannot. That has happened. The actual president of the United States of America, for certain things, he doesn't have power over it. Why? Because these political radical groups like Black Lives Matter, like Antifa, they have so much power that they can actually destabilize the peace. And you don't want that. So you give me what I tell you, or I will destabilize the peace. Watch out for next elections, because I have been predicting this since I knew that this was going to happen again. Radical protests in the United States are going to happen, sadly. And I'm not even creating hysteria. Oh my God, he's alarming. Oh my God, he's an extremist. Shut up. We know what is going to happen. That if things don't go by what the left says, multiple protests are going to start. Because there's going to be the, oh my God, it's so inhuman. Oh my God, he's so racist. Oh my God, he's an extremist. Oh my God, he's violating human rights. Oh my God, the United Nations needs to come and we got to unite to destroy one. Exactly like they were doing with Milei. Opposition, even their own political party, they were actually attacking a guy. And you manage, how is that mean? It is like a football team, right? Let me tell you. Let me give you an example, and it is just a stupid example because stupid is and stupid does, like Forrest Gump used to say. But you got the New England Patriots, and on the other side, you got the San Francisco 49ers on the final of the Super Bowl, right? Tom Brady, it is the captain of the New England Patriots, and he is about to call the last Hail Mary, 4th down and 50, just to call it just stupid play. And everybody is saying, you know what, Tom? Throw it to this guy. Throw it to this guy and throw it to this guy. And he says, no, I think that we have a better option on this side. The whole team goes against him. Not even the whole team goes against him. The opposite team starts saying it goes against him because they know that that option is possibly a good option for him to get the first down. But because they don't want to and they're against a leader, they will actually join up and they will actually do whatever it takes to destroy that leader. It's exactly what is happening right now with these candidates that just won the election in Argentina. Libertad, carajo, like he says. Such a beautiful way to say it. Man, such a beautiful way to say it. Liberty, damn it. He says it like that. He's bald. I like that. He's bald. He doesn't care. I like those kind of people that they don't care. He's bald. He's just like, liberty, carajo. Libertad, carajo. He's a bald guy. And like also Nayib Bukele. Nayib Bukele, he will kill you softly with his words. Like the song, Killing Me Softly. He will kill you softly with his words. And he will actually just shut you up with examples and numbers. And you will be like, well, what am I supposed to say now? Multiple protests happening all across the world. And it is also done by what is happening in Israel and also in Gaza. Apparently, they came to an agreement to release the hostages after how many days? But these people, they're not terrorists. They were just holding hostages so they can come to an agreement. But they're not terrorists. They're not bad people. Look at them. They're being released. They're good people. They were just holding them to negotiate. Negotiating with humans. That was the only thing that they're doing. For God's sake. How's everybody doing? Good evening to everybody. It is 8:04 in the evening over here. We got a couple of minutes to go. I will give a good 5 and I will say good night to everybody. And I will basically, say good night to every single one of you. It is nice to say hello to you guys on this evening. Has been a really productive day. We have a lot of things to do. We have a lot of first things God. We have a lot of plans to do. And we have a lot of situations that we need to handle. Before I go, I would like to read like the other day. I read okay, I think it was this. Let me just type it right here. Yes, I think it was this one. Let me see if yes, it was this one. So I will read this before I go. For everybody to have an idea. I like this one. Put the camera right here in the bottom. Is Ephesians. I don't know if I'm seeing it, if I'm saying it correctly. Oscar. Man, I love my followers and friends. Thank you so much, Mr. Michael Siegel. Sometimes we agree to disagree, but that is the beautiful thing of our relationship through the years, Mr. Michael, that you have been a longtime follower. And, we agree to disagree, but, you're the kind of guy that I will love to have just sit down and have a drink and just discuss about world topics, man. It will be a great conversation. He says, Oscar, you're an extremist and an extreme realist. So before I go, I think that it's called Ephesians. I wrote it down the other day. It's Ephesians 6:11. Am I saying it correctly before I go? I don't want to mistake people. If you can just tell me if I'm saying it correctly or not. Type one if I'm saying it correctly because it's a Bible verse, and I do not want to mistake the name. So it's Ephesians 6:11. Yes, correct. Somebody saying correct. Close. Okay, sorry about my accent. I apologize for that. Or Ephesians, something like that, right? So I will read this, and it is beautiful. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I just the other day somebody told me about this, and the other day we were reading about the Bible, and somebody gave me so I don't know who it was. Somebody saying yes, close enough. I'm sorry, my accent. I apologize for that. But somebody told me read Ephesians or Ephesians or the way that it's supposed to be said, 6:11, and I put it on the screen the way that I'm doing it right now, and I read it. And when we were reading it together, I was trying to catch the explanation of what it was, and it is so deep. It's just it's so deep. It is. It is so deep what it says. So I will read it before we say goodnight, for us to have an understanding. It says, "Put on the armor of God, so that you may be able to stand firm against the tactics of the devil." My God, we're just talking about this. We are just talking about this. We were just talking about this, what is happening with these multiple protests, with people trying to fight off both political parties, with these political figures now, that they just want freedom, that they just want the good of the people, that they just want the country to be good. And we were just talking about this. And look, I will read it again. It says, "Put on the armor of God, so that you may be able to stand firm against the tactics of the devil. For our struggle is not with flesh and blood, but with the principalities, with the powers, with the world rulers of this present darkness, with the evil spirits in the heavens." Man, this verse is deep. Woo. Jesus, man. Ephesians. My God, man. This burst, it is so deep. Holy cow, man. Holy cow. I will read it again before I go. I'm an hour and 3 minutes. I already extended. But let me just read it again. Man, I love this verse. I think it's till now it has been my I don't read I read the Bible every once, but I don't read it that much. I pray to God every day. Every day, in the morning, at night. And it's been like that since 2008. It has been a custom of mine since 2008. Every morning and before I go to bed, I talk to him and we have a conversation. But they gave me these verses of Corinthians 4:13, Exodus 14:14, and they gave me Ephesians. I think it's Ephesians 6:11. And I will read it again, man. This is so deep. Man, I love this. It says, put on the armor of God, so that you may be able to stand firm against the tactics of the devil. For our struggle is not with the flesh and blood, but with the principalities, with the powers, with the world rulers of this present darkness, with the evil spirits in the heavens. Whew. Jeez, man. Jesus, man. Oh, I love this one. I'm sorry, but I love this one, man. Oh my God, I love this one. It's just, it's, man, it's so deep. It's really so deep. It's so deep because it is actually, Will Johnson. You guys know Will, Mr. Will. I call him Mr. Will. Uh, you know, somebody saying, look into the Third Testament. Third Testament. What are you talking about? Third Testament. But as I always talk to Mr. Will, I call him Mr. Will. He is always telling me, Will Johnson, every time that we talk, or a few times that we have conversations, uh, he says everything that is happening right now, Blue, it is biblical, man. Everything it is biblical. And my mentor, Chuck Holton, I love being with him every time that I'm riding with him in the car. There's always a learning lesson with him. He knows the Bible really good, and he's always teaching me stuff when we are in the car, when we're driving. He's always telling me, so how do you feel, Blue, about this kind of stuff? And he says, have you read verse number la 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 from the Bible? I'm like, no. Google it, and I look for it, and like what it says. It says this. Look, and before I start reading it, he starts teaching me like this. It says this, and I'm like, wow, man, it's so deep, really so deep. I'm so happy that I'm surrounded by these beautiful men. I'm just gonna say it like that. Hardcore believers, man. Men that they are strong in their beliefs, and then they are fighting their own battles. Like I'm fighting the battle of, against these horrible people that they're abusing migrants, that they're abusing children migrants, that they're abusing the most vulnerable, that I expose the vulnerabilities and the dangers that migrants are being exposed to just to get a better life, and being used by globalists as bait. I expose that. That's my war. That's my fight, to try to help the children, to educate the migrants, to not go through these pathways, through these horrible pathways. And every single person that has a platform has their own fight. They have their own fight. They have their own mission. And when you talk to them, it really it glorifies you to really grow and it fills you up with energy, man. And it's just you learn so much. Oof, my God, you learn so much just by staying quiet and just listening. You will learn a lot. By being humble and just stay quiet and listen, you will learn a lot. You will learn a lot. And everybody is brought to everybody with a significance. As I have arrived to their lives, I'm possibly and most definitely I'm teaching them a lot of things that they did not know, as they are teaching me a lot of things that I didn't know. And we teach each other and we care for each other. And that is a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing. As I am teaching them, they're teaching me. But this verse right here, man, let me tell you something about this verse. Read it again last time. Put on the armor of God so that you may be able to stand firm against the tactics of the devil. For our struggle is not with the flesh and blood, but with the principalities, with the powers, with the world rulers of this present darkness, with the evil spirits in the heavens. Man, that's so deep. That is so deep. Thank you so much for joining in. Somebody saying God also has given you Christian followers here on your channel. I don't look at it as Christian and Catholic. I look at it as people that believe in God. At the end of the day, religion has an important part on division. And it's not that I don't believe in religion or I believe in religion. I'm a Catholic myself. I was raised as a Catholic. But most importantly, it has brought me people that they believe in God and they believe on our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. That is the only thing that I see. I don't see color. I don't see sides. I don't see religions. I see that just you believe on the most beautiful man and most perfect man that ever walked this planet. Yes, we are exactly the same. Superstitious nonsense. Thank you so much, free thinker. God bless you. So uh nice to talk to you guys on this evening, an hour and 10 minutes. I will accept one more comment and I will leave the live feed. Whatever comment you guys want to, whatever question, comment, one comment before I go. I extended already 1 hour and 10. I'm supposed to end live at 1 hours. Whatever, whoever wants to ask me a question, I am right here. Latina girl is saying thank you for all the great work you do, Oscar. Thank you for being here tonight. Miss Eva, God bless your dear heart. Hope you feel better and you're gonna do great. Just don't look at the sun that much. I know you like those kind of jokes. Somebody wants to ask a question. Who created this God character? Possibly you're agnostic. You're a person that doesn't believe in God, but I will give you an answer. Whoever created this God character is the one that is giving you the ability to type right now and to breathe and to live and to see and to feel. That's the one. God bless you. What is your favorite food for Thanksgiving? Wow, what a question. It's not even there. There's a special pasta that one of my aunts, my closest aunt, makes, and it's a really special pasta that she does. It's like a pesto, but it's, oh my god, it's so good. And when we're always getting together, I always tell my cousins, because we get together, all family gets together, and I tell my cousins the pasta, it smells really bad, so don't touch it. And no, I say that because I don't want nobody to go over there and touch it. But there's a special pasta that one of my aunts makes, and also another aunt makes a really good cheesecake. So I'm always you know I'm always waiting for those moments. Another question. One last question. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, how do we join? How do we join together to these migrants contacting you when to go back home? I don't understand your question. Let me see. How do we join together to these migrants contacting you want to go back home? The question is not. If you can just elaborate it correctly, I will gladly answer your question, Leticia Arriaga. Please get the pasta recipe. No, 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 no. No, it's not going to happen. No, it's not. I'm sorry. No, no, no. Does Mexico have a Thanksgiving Day? If so, when? Well, the borders are really Americanized. We on the border sides, we celebrate Thanksgiving. Whether it is not our, you know, it is not a holiday for us, but we celebrate it because we think that is a beautiful holiday for family to come together. So we live in a border. That is a thing that a lot of people do not understand. Border life, it is really different than other states and other customs and other cultures. And we celebrate on the same day that you guys celebrate Thanksgiving. Help migrants who want to go back home. Well, that's not my obligation. I'm a journalist. I just go and document. And if migrants want to go back home, there's programs. In Mexico, there was the retorna a tu país kind of return to your country kind of program. I don't know if it's still still the it's existing, or I don't know if it is still unexisting or not, but I will try to we'll try to find out for you. Thank you so much for joining in. God bless you all. An hour and 15 minutes. I already extended a lot. God bless you all. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves. And like we always say, God's plan is our mission. Nice to talk to you. Have a blessed night. We're here with at CPAC Mexico with the president of Mis amigos migrantes, pues aquí estoy.
Total catastrophe, and it is a crisis.
Of a child right there. All these NGOs, you're fake. It is this, the crisis of children.